Good afternoon. My name is Honorable Dolphina Alego. I'm a Chief Magistrate, Milimani Criminal Division. And I've been a magistrate for the last 20 plus years. And it's a journey, it's a career that I enjoy doing. And above all, I am still a parent. I have three biological children, three biological sons who are my great friends, and I also foster very many children. I sit in boards in school, precisely right now at Novo Pioneer in Eldred, and in addition to my three sons, I equally have another 22. So that is part and parcel. And apart from that, I still foster so many other children because I believe that we are all products of being mentored, being held by our hands, and we should always leave a legacy whereby whatever you find, you leave it in a better place than what you have. So that has been my mantra, and we keep on getting better by the day. Thank you. I went to school in Catholic Parochial Primary School here in Nairobi. I was been born, bred, went to school in Nairobi. Then I went to Loreto Convent Valley Road. I went, and later on went to Lower Girls High School. And after that, I went overseas for my two first degrees, Bachelor of Social Legislature. Thereafter, I did my Bachelor's of Laws. I also have a Master's in Conflict Resolution, and I'm also a fellow from the Kofi Annan International Peace Training Center in Accra, Ghana. Equally, I'm a fellow 20 class of 2018 at the Stanford University in the USA. Precisely, my parents are both medics. I lost my dad to COVID in 2021, and my daddy's soul rest in peace. But my mom is still alive. They were both medics, so I thought I would go to the medical field. And it was during that time when the 844 system was just beginning. And I opted like, why not? Just give it a try. We didn't have lawyers precisely in our family. So I'm the first lawyer in our family. And I think it was by default because now I couldn't get the medicine as my parents are. And that's how I went and did law. But I have no regrets whatsoever. It's something I enjoy doing and I keep on doing it and always learning from the very best and learning from everybody across board because learning never ceases and we learn every day. When you do what you love with a passion, then you keep on making yourself a better person. So I appreciate my parents as medics, but I think I also appreciate myself as a lawyer and precisely a magistrate currently. Yes. It's not been easy. It's been a journey. I've told you I was appointed as a magistrate in the year 2002, and it has taken me 22 years because I just recently got my chief magistrate post. It's not been an easy journey. I think for me to get from the senior principal magistrate to a chief magistrate, it took me like 10 years. Yes, but I think it's for the passion that you have for the job. So at sometimes you don't look at the titles, but you just work for humanity. You serve humanity at your best because that is something you're passionate about and always leaving this world a better place than you found it. So whatever job you're given, do it to your very best. It's never about titles. It is about how you do it and how best you can do it. I think I know where you're getting to, and I think you people captured it well. I am usually not so keen with what is going on in court with the cameras. Some of these things I just get to see or hear them later on. But I am passionate about children. I am passionate about, as I've told you, about mentorship. And you can see whenever I have so many students in my court, I will hold them from the day one that they are posted to my court to the very end. That will take them about 6 to 8 weeks. And I hold them and we surge on the journey to the very end because I want to be impactful. The fact that they've been sent to my court, I really have to be there for them because I am a product of mentorship. So why shouldn't I mentor the young ones? And that is part of leaving this world a better place than you found it. So if we do not hold the younger ones, who will? We are there to be impactful, intentional in what we do. And that is why whenever I have students in my court, I hold them from the very first day to the very last day before they go back to their campuses, their various campuses. So I think there's been highs and lows. It's never so easy in our courtrooms. There are days that it can be good enough. There are days like yesterday, I think we left court at around after 5, and it is draining because at the end of the day, you're just not a magistrate, you're a mother. You are also an auntie to other people, you're a friend to other people, you still have a social life to encounter. So there are the highs, the lows. I think the one you're precisely referring to is for the young students who were brought to our court. And unfortunately, one passed on, and may Gadambi's soul rest in eternal peace. It is not easy to lose anybody at any time. And for this one, yes, I believe it is something that it is about. We keep on parenting the young ones. We keep on talking to the young ones. And as because I will talk about it because I'm no longer handling the matter. It is now at an inquest stage, and one of my colleagues will handle the matter. So moving forward, I think it is something which could have been avoided after the investigating officer mentioned that the young girl slipped and fell. As it is on record that, and what the IO said, that all of them had gone to have, they were drunk. And as I rightly put, whose money were they drinking? Okay. So they are not children who are working, they are children who have parents, and we are all their parents at the end of the day. But sometimes it is not about rebuking our children, it is about restoring their dignity to know that whatever they're doing, it's not always right. But with a lot of hindsight, we just direct them what they should do. And I believe with this particular story, I believe and I hope that these 7 young ones will never be the same again with the tragic death of one of their own. Yeah, and as I said, may her soul rest in eternal peace.
Hope that they never will be seeing alcohol on the side.
Very true. And that's my prayer. And to all our children, all the young ones in campuses, I hope that is a turning point for many. Yeah, because as parents, I know because I'm at that stage where my kids are almost the same age, it really hurts and it is deep. And I don't think at any given time parents have the money to pay fees. Most parents, if not all, are on loans to cater for the needs of their children. I am I swore by the Bible, by the Constitution of Kenya, to uphold the rule of law. It does not mean that when you have taken oath to uphold the rule of law, you become inhuman. No. It is just putting the Constitution as the first point of reference and putting a human face in that. Because all these courts are led by human beings. We've all sworn by the Constitution that we'll uphold the rule of law. And that is what all of us do. It is the how. How you want to run your court is upon you, but within the precepts of the rule of law, the Constitution of Kenya. So, in my view, I have to treat people with dignity because that is part and parcel. I'm not saying that we don't, my colleagues don't, but because at any given time, I can only sit in one court and that is my courtroom. So it is the bare minimal that I give, that feel comfortable in this courtroom. You're a human being. I will listen to your story and I'll listen to the other person's story and make a determination. But you must feel human enough that you will get the right judgment at the end of the day, so that you don't come to court feeling like I will not get my rights delivered to me. No, you come to court as a human being. And what I keep on saying, coming to court is like going to hospital. When you go to hospital, you are going to hospital because you're unwell and you trust the doctors to get what is ailing you. It is the same thing. When you come to court, you are coming to court not because it's mandatory. I hope you've always had people saying, I have gone to court for the first time. I've never been to any court of law. So it's not a place that you're walking. It's not a mall. It is a place you come because there is a need you're looking for. The need is about your human rights and you want a determination about the same. So when you come to court, you must feel comfortable that whatever has brought you to that court, whether you're an accused person or whether you are a complainant, feel free that whatever I am about to say in this court will be taken in with the keenness that it deserves, and a verdict will be given. So that whether you are the accused and you've been found guilty, you will internalize and see it is true. The magistrate found that I was guilty. And in your own, in retrospect, you find that it is true that what you did, what it was, what that is why the law caught up with you. And if you're the complainant, also feel free that whatever you told the court is what the court analyzed to find that there was something which was done against you, and the law has come to your aid either way. It comes, there's a lot of, no two cases can be the same in court. Yeah, you can find that maybe, let me give just a paradox. One person has stolen somebody's chicken for fun, but another person has stolen a chicken because the person is hungry. So those are two people, both have stolen chicken, but in two different circumstances. One has done it as fun, the other has done it because maybe his family is is going hungry. So it is at that moment that even when you want to sentence and find them guilty, you might put one that go and do what we call a community service order, but the other one had the intention to steal, just for stealing. But one did it because either of poverty, the social economic factors. So you can see how it can be divergent, because one has done it in mitigation. I was hungry, my children were sleeping hungry. The other one was like, he did this for me. The other time he stole my chicken, so I went to steal his chicken. So those are two, they're both cases of stealing chicken, but in two divergent ways. Right. I think one take home, I got my promotion as a chief magistrate. It was long overdue, but I thank God, and I keep on saying I'm a Christian. So I reached a point in my life that I said I am not doing it for titles. I am doing it for humanity. So when it came, it was a pleasant surprise, because I'd reached a point in my life that I'm saying, let me work for Kenyans. Let me work for humanity. And God, in His own timing, brought it home and about. So I thank God for that. I really do thank God for that. And recently, as a family, we had a Thanksgiving, not only for me, because I have three biological children, and two of my children were equally graduating this year. So it happened at the same time, and I give God all the glory. Mm. God. You always have to have support system. I have a very strong support system, both at family level, and I am intentional about friendship. So I have girls and I have people I call my sisters who will take me out of the courtroom in a very nice way. And we'll always just be girls. We're just these pink little girls who will, nobody will judge you for what you are. And yeah, so I have a very strong system, support system that we have all invested in ourselves for the longest time. So when I'm not in the courtroom, like, we can just sit down and just be girls, right? And also at family level, I have also very strong family support system. As I said, I lost my dad in 2021, was my greatest supporter. I was daddy's girl. Yeah, but I lost him to COVID in 2021. My mother is still alive, who is also equally a very strong support system to me. So when I'm not there, when I'm not in the courtroom, these are the people who keep me going, and my children, of course. Yes, you can see that even after we leave the courtroom, you're still a mother. You have to pick children, drop children. You still have to do your parenting duties. So you still have judgments to write, which sometimes you may not sleep the whole night because you're writing judgments. So there's work carried home. There's work that you still have to do past the court hours. And they are never easy, because your small children will not understand, why is mommy carrying work at home and we need to be playing? Why is mommy not doing this with us, but she's saying she's writing a judgment? Oh, mommy is busy, mommy is writing a judgment. So it is something that in the normal court hours you cannot write. It is something that you still have to carry home and write the judgments and carry work home and all that, which takes away your family time with with your children, with your spouses, or all that. So it is more of a calling. It is not just a job. It is more of a calling. And for you to do this, you really must be passionate about this. Yeah, because you have to have records to show what you've done. I believe it's bright. I am never a person who's contented by being in a comfort zone. I keep on saying that at least every 1 year, add one new title to yourself. Do a course that will add value to yourself. Don't be too contented that the last time you ever went back to school was 10 years ago, because the world is dynamic. The world is a global village. We are in the digital era. Is it too difficult for me to learn about cybercrime so that I can understand my cases much better? Because the world is dynamic and it's changing every other day. So you cannot be too comforted that what I went to school 10 years ago, it's still what is there today. So you must not be in a comfort zone. You must push yourself out of the comfort zone. That is the only way you can make yourself a better person.
So do you find yourself like you see this cybercrime thing?
Yes.
Many of us, some of us, did not understand it when it was being introduced.
Right.
Do you guys find yourself in such a position?
We do.
What do you do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to either, if there are trainings within the institution, enroll for them. And if they are not within the institution, enroll for it still. Because it will help you as a person. And yes, and to the bigger circle, the institution. Yeah, so don't wait until the institution takes you for trainings. You can do that for yourself, because it is you who is making yourself a better place and a better person.
Because someone like me, I waited for lawyers to explain it to me.
No, you can still do law. Nothing deters you from doing law. Yeah, right. Cybercrime is big. Um, cryptocurrency is big. Yeah, digital spaces is huge. That's where the world is headed to. So those are the things we should really be looking out at. Yeah, because robotics is huge. AI is coming in. So we cannot be contented that everything is business as usual. Those are the next big, huge um, areas that we should be learning and getting into that space, because that's where the world is headed to. Right.
So do you think AI will take some of the legal jobs?
I don't think that should be the position. People should, just like when the computers came in, everybody thought jobs would go. It just assisted us to do our work better. So just keep on, like M-Pesa. Before, people would hold money, but right now everybody has at least a platform where you can send M-Pesa and receive M-Pesa. So you should always be looking at the future in a bright way, but it also comes with the do's and the don'ts. There are the good things and the bad things, but we should always embrace ourselves that we are looking at things the brighter way in every other thing. Mentorship is key, and I'll say that I'm a product of mentorship, and I'm huge in mentorship. I think for some of you who've been in my courtroom, you can see I can usually stay with the students for the longest time. And by the time they're going back to their campuses, I believe that I've done what I need to do, because I am equally a product of being mentored by the my senior sisters and even brothers. And there are people who I look to as my mentors, because I'm not a product of myself. There are things that some people have held my hand, and that is what I am. So when I don't do it, and people are doing this for me, isn't that not being selfish? Yeah, so do it. And as I keep on saying, let your mantra be, leave this world a better place than you found it. Do it in a different way, that somebody look back and say that if it wasn't for so and so, I would not be. So I don't do it for accolades. I do it because it's humanity. Service to humanity is service to God. Right.
So that moment of those 7 students, the thing that I remember most is you saying, and I am not a better parent. I am
Exactly.
not a still you insisted that so
Exactly.
much.
Because I don't have the title of a better parent. I'm equally just a parent who is trying like any other parent. And that is why I felt for those parents, because it could be anybody's child. It could be anybody's child. You cannot pride and say, my son is not in the group. It could be anybody's child. It could be a biological child. It could be a child that you're taking care of. It could have happened to anybody. But what do? You restore dignity into these children. You restore dignity to their families. You don't rebuke them and say you are not a better parent. That is why your child turned out this way. It could happen to anybody. A lot. As I told you, my dad was my greatest hero. My mommy also is always there for me. I have siblings who really support me. I have told you about my support system, and I'm not huge on everybody being my friend, because the few that are, I really invest on them. So I look upon in the legal circles. Yes, I have people who I look up to. My one good friend when it comes to my career wise is a friend of mine who has also been there for me when we are raising our children. Maureen. Maureen is the one who made me go to Stanford. She believed in me and she made sure that recommended me that I go to Stanford. I have friends who are always cheering me on. There's one of my friends who works for the UN, Bridget. She's always cheering me on that. Then I have my support system who will know whether, like, we'll just call and find out. We are six in number. There is a Rose, and we have all these ways that we call ourselves. Nobody looking at you as a magistrate. They will not judge you. So I have Rose, I have Jeanette, I have Norma, I have Pamela, I have what's her name? I have Brenda. So we are six in number. So we do the girl thing. We do international trips once in a while, at least once in a year, where nobody looks at you, you're a magistrate. We're just sisters. And we go visiting our parents, and we're just girls. And you see, that actually removes the daily pressures of your normal routine. You see, so you should have a system that in your lowest moment, they're there. They've been there when I lost my dad. When I lost my sister, they were there for me. And in retrospect, again, I'm there for them. So you're more like family, and they will always be there, not to judge you for what you are. So you should always have that system. And there are girls I mentor, not only in the legal profession. I have an engineer who will always ask me, I'm going with you. And she's an engineer. And she looks back and says, yeah, I am what I am because you're always holding my hand. And I like it because that is the only way you can make somebody a better person, by holding each other's hand. So you can imagine in this world, if we held each other's hand, how beautiful can this world be? It will be a beautiful, and that is what the Lord expects of us, right? Yeah. As I said, I learned this from my parents, and especially now that dad is not there, that always do things so that you can leave this world a better place, not for people to say that you did this for me. Do it and go. In Kiswahili we say tenda wema nenda zako. So don't do it for anybody to say you need accolades. Do it because it's the right thing to do, whether you're alone or whether people are seeing you, because that is service to humanity. I mean, human dignity is something which is inherent. You cannot buy it from somebody. And it goes back to my question why I have a human face is my coat. It is inherent. Make that person feel a human being, because we are dealing with human beings. We are not dealing with dogs. We are not dealing with animals. We are dealing with human beings. Just treat people the way you'd want them to treat you. And if the other person does not treat you this way, achia Mungu. But do it because that is what God expects you to do. Whether he has money or he doesn't have money, whether she has money or she doesn't have money, just do the right thing. Make the person feel dignified, even when they're in a court of law. Because there's nothing which is so dehumanizing. Poverty dehumanizes human beings. Is that true? When you don't have money, you feel like you cannot afford anything. So being empowered is solely something that we should hold each other's hand and always strive to be at the same level. I feel bad when you have something and somebody is dying because they cannot have food. Why can't you empower this person? If you can. So that when you're full, like because you've eaten something, the other person also has something to take care of or take care of their families with. Maybe the medic that my both parents were, because that was the other option. Yeah. So maybe if I wasn't a lawyer, maybe I would have been a medic like my parents.
And both the professions are calling. either
Yes, they are
calling.
both callings. And I think the one thing I didn't like about for my parents, especially for my mom, like when other families would go out as a family on weekends, our parents were at work. So I think that is one thing that I didn't like, because our Sundays were like, is mommy is going to be home or not, or dad. So at any one time when you had both our parents for the weekend, it was really an honor because we had both our parents. But most often than not, you'll find that my mom has to work over the weekends, and you see. So I think, yeah, moving forward, I think one thing I've learned with our family is that anything you do, whatever God has given you to do it because you're doing it for God and for humanity, and it is a calling. It's not, even if it is something that gives you your daily income, but do it because you're passionate about it and because that is what you love. And that's what I talked to my sons about, because my eldest son is an architect, my second born is a civil engineer, and the baby of the house is in grade 10 at Nova Pioneer. But I keep on telling them there's one thing that you have to read because you're passionate about, that is your degree and it's in your head. Then have something that you can do with your hands. So in that, one of my sons, okay, he's an architect, but he draws for passion. The other one is a baker and he does it for passion. And the younger one, we can always rear the chicken that we do when we are not doing all these things. And we all love African. So we in our other life, when you're not doing the normal things, we are either indulging in anything African, be it fabric, be it anything in any part of the continent. And that is also a passion. And we also rear chicken. So that is our life.
So wewe ni mkulima wa kuku.
Kabisa, kabisa. I will even go to that farm and do what I need, because that is my safe space, that I'm not writing a judgment and I'm doing something out of the ordinary, which will now remove and debrief me from the normal writing of judgments and rulings,
That's nice.
because that is key to mental health.
What
Yeah,
else?
I think we are in the element of the digital platforms, and I believe we get to know, we get educated about what happens maybe in the courtrooms and every other places. And we just have to have responsible journalism moving forward. So if this really embraces and makes you know about the courtrooms and what to do in court, why not watch this channel at any given time? That is my parting shot.